give them the tools to manipulate themselves. We're going to have a cheesy reality TV show, and we're going to move from quantified self to quantified communities. In other words, we're not necessarily going to give everybody a tracker and make them do stuff. We're going to change the environment in which they live. Bike paths, school lunch, employee wellness programs. But in the end, we're not waltzing in a nice white lady from New York and telling people how to live. We're asking them, what are your problems? What do you think would help to solve them? Let's work together to help you get money, help you meet experts who know how to deal with nutrition or school lunches or whatever. And ultimately, let's get food companies to come in and offer pilot healthy foods in using your community as a test market. So the slides aren't in the order I expected. For the last year, we've been thinking about doing this, and as I fly back and forth across the country, because I'm still in the tech business, I look down and I see these places and I think, could this be Wellville? Because that's the kind of place we want, not a giant city, but a smallish, under 100,000 people, somewhat remote place, so that if you change the conditions, people aren't going to the next place over to get a milkshake and fries. We can't outlaw the milkshake and fries, but we can make the alternatives much cheaper and more accessible. So these are core constituents. This is where change really happens. And if you come in and tell people they need to get healthy, they may not be that interested. But if you tell them it's for their children, and of course children are more malleable, it's easier to help them change their behavior. And one of the greatest markets to study is school food, because every child eats it, and right now it's pretty horrible and unhealthy. But the most amazing conference I went to this entire year was a conference called School Food Focus in January in Oakland. It was about fixing school lunch. And I expected pictures like this, heartwarming, little children eating nutritious food. Isn't it great? And what I actually heard about was procurement and logistics. Most schools no longer have kitchens. The people in them aren't trained to cook. They're trained to take boxes off trucks and pour things into vats and heat them up. And so this is a nice picture, but it isn't actually what I learned. And as I said, we also want to go to the food companies. All of them know Armageddon is coming. How many of you were here for Walter Willett last week, or whenever it was? Yeah. Walter Willett and people like him are beginning to be heard. In England, they've got red, yellow, and green on food. In Mexico, they're taxing sugar. And every food company is aware of this, and most of the people in food companies are parents. They want the best for their children too. I mean, yeah, I don't know what they all think of when they go home at night, but they're not trying to make people sick. They're trying to do a decent job and make money, and so they all have test kitchens, they have secret projects. One of the people who came to one of my brainstorms was a man who owns 6 McDonald's franchises and told me he was ready to go to their innovation committee when I was ready. And pretty soon I'm going to be calling him. So we want to offer a demilitarized zone to these food companies, where they can try to make healthy food not just cheaply, but also delicious and good looking, whatever, and their competition will be doing the same. We want this to be profitable for the food companies, or it won't happen. So, just to give you a little progress report.